Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we've got our second best of 3 of the day, and it's between Chaos and Cr4zy to decide who's going to be playing up against Ancient a little bit later on. So, elimination match as well. Loser gets to go out, and the first map went to Cr4zy after a little bit of a struggle, but they were off to a great start. So you sort of felt like they probably wouldn't have won it. It would be a hard comeback, I think, for Chaos if they would have had to have made it the whole way.
Yeah, I mean, still the credit to Chaos for bringing it back as far as they did. That was looking pretty drastic for a minute. Like we were going to end up with like a 16, like 4 or 5 on that map at a certain point. Thankfully, we didn't end up with that. We still had Chaos kind of reawaken for a little bit, but ultimately not to enough of a comeback where they would actually be able to win the map. Cr4zy still kind of woke up there later on in the second half, took control themselves, and now we're moving on to Mirage, where the Cr4zy's got a really good chance, especially if they're able to start as dominantly as they did on Dust 2. We're closing this out in 2-0 fashion. Chaos got a lot of ground to make up, and unfortunately, they don't have a whole lot of time to do it, especially going onto a map like Mirage, where on the T side anyway, source of a lot of their struggles, you need to be very well rehearsed or things can go very bad very quickly.
Yeah, this is the map that Cr4zy picked as well. So that in itself might be a bit of an issue for Chaos. Although, just looking at the win statistics for both teams, they seem to be pretty even on this map, roughly. So maybe it's not such a big deal. Freddy on the Chaos side showing up in a huge fashion. I mean, if they would have lost that game like, I don't know, 5 rounds, 6 rounds earlier if it wasn't for him. So he's going to need to keep doing that, and then the rest need to be there as well.
He was a solid over 10 frags over the next highest teammate and had like nearly 30 ADR higher than the next highest teammate too. So that just gives you a picture of how far they're ahead. This guy right here, Esperanto, in the meanwhile, was doing a fantastic job. I think he and Nexa to a certain extent did kind of cool off a little bit as we got further into the map. But with him and Nexa, we're doing a really good job as well of bringing back situations for his team that, to be honest, they had absolutely no business winning. And that's part of the issue that Chaos need to fix going into this second map, is making sure that, when they have those rounds locked down, that they're not giving it away to Cr4zy retakes and things like that we were seeing constantly from Cr4zy back on the first map.
Just getting everything lined up here with the in-ears, obviously the soundproof headsets on top of it, so hopefully a couple of seconds more we can get into Mirage. I think we haven't seen that much in the tournament, right?
Not on our half of it yesterday anyway. I don't think we saw too much of it later on in the day either.
No, it's been like Train and some Dust 2, mostly. I guess Nuke. Seeing Nuke a lot these days.
Yeah. Even had a Vertigo match, so let's start us off back on day number 1. But no Mirage just yet, so we're going to changing that up a little bit. We'll add it into the equation. Keeping the maps nice and varied here throughout the day anyway. Still quite a bit of Dust 2 play so far, but jumping into Mirage will be a nice little change of pace, and we're going to have to see if Chaos is ready for the challenge that this brings. I'm not sure of the side starts we're going to end up with, but with Chaos, this being their pick, I would assume that they're going to be on T side to start. But we'll get the confirmation on that, as I think it is time to head into the second map. See if Cr4zy can pull off the first 2-0 in this tournament for a best of 3, or if Chaos is going to keep us on 3 mappers. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mirage for map number 2 of this series.
Yes, indeed. The Swedes battling. If Chaos could win this best of 3, they'd be playing another Swedish team, and we'd have sort of a guaranteed team to make it through the semi-final. Right now, it's looking unlikely. We are going to see a straight B rush in the pistol. Pleasant, the only one there. 4-man stacked on the A-bomb side. You hate to see that happen. Pleasant, he needs to get like a kill or something before the rest show up. This is probably the worst thing that could have happened to Chaos.
We're going to see Cr4zy getting fast control. Chaos, no sign of them getting in position for a retake too early on here, but as you were saying,
kid. The only one they had on DJL, that means they've got basically one more chance to pick that up at the moment. Pleasant getting one, but again, they need that defuse kit. That is everything to them right now. It has been picked up in the meantime, so there's little something. Freddy's got it, and they're going to get a bunch of kills here. Are they really going to be able to do it? Freddy? Redaxa, need to get off that as well. And they're going to have it in time. I can't even believe it. That was a straight, like, 5-on-5 retake. Kit being stuck in kitchen for a long time. That's crazy.
Nice.
Well, I guess it's Chaos, but...
And they still managed to get it done. So great stuff from Chaos to pull off the retake in the fashion that they did. It seemed like Cr4zy had too much control over the site, but just didn't really have great positions to play into. Had to play these fights out into the open, as you often do, unfortunately, on this site in post-plant. And as such, gave a lot of frags over to the folks from Chaos, allowing them to pull off the retake and ultimately bring this back to give them control of another pistol. I think they're both split about 50-50 on the pistols right now so far in this series, or at the very minimum, that would be Chaos taking control at a 2-1 record.
Freddy waiting back here. Somewhat safe. Jumping, usually not safe at all. Krieg on the other side, but yeah, he spots them out. Gonna get tagged, probably by the scout. And now they're making their way on. They're all here, they got the bomb. They got like one chance for a smoke there to buy a little bit of space on the bomb side. They need to get that bomb plant down while that smoke is still up. Another 5-on-5 retake.
Yep. Cr4zy again with solid control, and it's going to all fall to Chaos to make the moves necessary to get themselves back in. The problem is they don't necessarily have the easiest way to split this retake in a fashion that would completely surround Cr4zy. There's a certain amount of this that Cr4zy is going to very easily be able to hold control of for the rest of the round. Nexa ripping 2 players apart from past ticket booth. Esperanto getting 2 as well. Now it's all on Relaxa. He's only going to be able to find 1 when Letny shuts it down a second later. There's the response and the tie at 1-1.
He just closed his eyes and spammed that deagle, and the second player ran right into it. Let's see this. There it is, like he's just clicking away. Very well done, obviously great follow-up. That is, yeah, that's really gonna sting for Chaos. Again, think about how many rounds they had that were like 2v2s on Dust 2 that they lost. So to start out the map, like a little bit of a celebration winning the pistol, and then you're right back in the same kind of deal.
And off of that, Cr4zy, of course, they're going to take the economy advantage moving into the 3rd round. They'll have a massive gun advantage over Chaos here, who primarily is going to only have deagles and a single scout sitting on Relaxa. They'll try to work this to the best of their capability, but nearly getting himself a double, to be fair. Auto will trade that back before it becomes reality, however. And this will still hold Cr4zy back. They're going to play a lot more passively, holding on to mid for now. A few players into the back halls as well. So more than likely, this is going to end up shifting into a B take. A bit of a slow lead up on it. They don't want to tip Chaos off early on in the round.
Yeah, but they seem to know. They got that forward position over at ramp. So Freddy is quite far away, and they're fine with that. The rest 3 are going to be here. I think the main thing is whether or not Esperanto is going to be able to open up. If he can catch DJL turning the wrong way or just win the fight straight up, I don't think the other 2 members on this bomb side are going to be having a very good time defending. Nice tag, starts off, follow-up tag is even better, but there's that one fight against DJL, and now that's a lot of trouble. Pleasant, you could see him kind of getting zoned out a little bit of Relaxers there, and the earlier scout tag now fulfilled. He's going to pick that one up, 25 seconds, and going to miss the chance there. Now it's on Freddy, but again, he's been playing really well.
However, he's got a really far back position to play this into for a 1v2. Deagle, however, with one well-placed shot, can still work this. Molly as well to try and force them outside a bench if they want to try and rely on that to take him out. But he just doesn't have any real position he can throw this from. He's a bit timid to get it out there, but there we go. Cr4zy get the plan onto the ground. Esperanto and Letny back away. The Molly's actually not going to end up really affecting anything. No one actually goes back to bench. They're playing deep into the site inside of Market, so ultimately Esperanto swings out, picks up the final kill, and puts Cr4zy ahead at 2-1.
Yeah, good play for him at the end. I was kind of worried that it looked like they kept peeking Freddy, and that doesn't seem like it's necessary at all. So they're going to be getting quite a bit ahead now. No more money to buy. They've got one flashbang, so probably, yeah, set up over at B. Why not?
Cr4zy actually playing into this right now, but that's going to very easily more than likely change up since we've got Cr4zy going for a mid take. And once they spot the complete openness of the A site, which Hunter is about to find out right about now, and they are going to realize just how bad of a decision it would be to follow through with that B cat push they've got lined up back in mid. So there we go. Everybody's going to dive in through connector, work their way into the A site. Easy plant for them. The gambit does not work out, and Chaos won't really be able to get a whole lot going in this round.
Yeah, that is kind of the nature of of doing that kind of a stack on B. Again, don't really have any criticism. I think it's just fine. I like this much more than when people default spread with USPs. I always think like, yeah, you know, what are the chances that that's going to work out? Those two Mac 10s, you could justify trying to find some kills with them. Even if you lose them, doesn't really matter for that much for the next round.
See Otto going to try to burn at least one player out. It actually misses the opportunity there. A little bit poor timing on the peak. Hunter, though, is able to put two together before he goes down as he cashes in an extra 1,200. Otto also going hunting a bit here, too. There's one. Get dinked around the corner, though, and Freddy's going to be able to finish him off. So if they want it, there's two Mac 10s on the ground for Freddy and Relaxa, but they are not going to take a risk on handing over an extra $600 per player. They do just end up backing away. Staying alive more than anything else, but still, of course, giving the round over to Cr4zy.
A really, really good start here in the second map for them. Once again, AWP now in the hands of Otto, and they don't yet have one on Chaos. Spend everything, no kit, limited on the grenade, so even the spy is not... It's good enough, but they're missing some things.
Got quite a few players from Cr4zy again stacking up in middle. This has kind of become their playground to start their work from. A nice boost up, though. Gives Hunter a pixel-perfect position to knock out Boten. Now Chaos did a man down. Still with a good amount of positioning to counter out any type of mid-push. Pleston is going to be the next player up to bat, though. Finds Esperanto and responds to the death of Boten from a few moments ago, bringing us into a 4v4. The rest of Cr4zy, well, trying to put some pressure onto the apartments, and it works. DJL takes the fight, goes down to it. And again, it's Cr4zy with a man advantage. Just not a whole lot of positioning, too much to work. However, they're about to pinch the A site, and Chaos will be none the wiser as they don't have any presence on it.
How does he just walk in and get that kill on Hunter? I'm kind of shocked at that. Cr4zy, I mean, Letney just lined all of this up for them. There's nobody on the A side. There hasn't been for a long time. He got that kill. He threw in the Molotov. It dragged everyone that way. And now the slowdown here. Are they going to be realizing Chaos? Find out. Now they definitely know. Yeah, and they're going to start to rotate over 3-on-3. Somehow this round could actually still be won by the CT side, which didn't look possible 15 seconds ago.
Cr4zy still a little bit timid. In fact, the plant timing is going to be incredibly low. Just about 5 seconds left in excess here. And, ooh, Otto, good response from him. Not good enough to keep him alive, though. Pleston clips him up before he gets the firebox. Nearly gets the second kill, but ultimately Nexa and Letney get the closeout. Nexa with just 2 HP at the end, giving Cr4zy the round. But could have ended up in much cleaner fashion. It's a similar mistake that they were making against the guys from Chaos in the last map, too.
And this is scary. Thought for a minute they were about to give up a round that they'd actually just set it up perfectly. Letney got 2 kills, but he actually dragged the whole defense over the B, so that's pretty well done. Ouch.
Great nade on Pleston. Now we're going to see if he tries to take a jump on that. A lot of smokes deployed mid right now, so Cr4zy does have to hold back for a couple of extra seconds before they really attempt to take any type of extra control here. Chaos, in the meanwhile, actually getting a good amount of intel. Boten, I think he was supported by another teammate too. Able to push out. Pleston's going to take a little bit more damage as he steps into the molly here. And the CTs, knowing that there's going to be pretty much no pressure working their way up T-ramp, means that they can play into these steps. It's more than likely going to be a mid-connector push.
Well, CC, we've seen it many times before, could definitely do the damage here. Gonna be smoking it off and now retreating back out. I wonder what it was. What was the information that made him do this? But they made the right call. Great call, in fact.
Not much of a tell. Either way, though, DJL able to jump out, gets a 1-for-1 exchange. Pleston doing some great damage to Nexa, but no confirmation on the kill. He finds DJL and Pleston. Letney spamming to the inside of the kitchen window also finds Boten. Just Freddy now, after Letney is also caught rotating back through the apartments. And unfortunately for Freddy, he is also pretty far detached from all this action. He's going to be stuck way over towards the A side. Not much that he can do. He's only got a deagle. So could just throw this away and trying to get a couple exit frags, but he's playing a pretty passive role right now. Either way, gets himself into a fight versus Auto, and then has to dive downstairs into underpass. We're going to see Letney still take him out.
Yeah, he's 7-1-1 after this round, so been playing a good job in playing a lot of these solo positions towards B, and just sort of maybe he's the one that got the info for them to make that rotation. But that was a good call that could have otherwise led them into some kind of a stack on A. Finally, they have everything on the Chaos side. A lot of grenades. Seems to be working out a little bit better.
Pleston trying to find Esperanto. I missed the memo on how far forward he was able to push, though. Works his way down. It's the bottom of mid. Pleston still spamming the top. Esperanto missing a great chance for a free headshot, though. Tries to turn it around. He's going to get caught trying to retreat into underpass. Boatin takes him out. Might be a dead giveaway to the execute's about to happen, too, as DJL lines up 2 for himself. Hunter will trade that. Auto as well catches Pleston, so maybe it's not over just yet here for Cr4zy. Only got 2 players left, but they've got the site. In a second, they'll have a plant. Now they just have to hold the post, and there you go. There's the equalizer as Auto finds Relaxa.
Yeah, this is huge right now. They're going to have a really hard time retaking this. Auto, when that smoke goes away, is he going to be quick enough that Orb is on the other side? Boatin breathes into it, but Hunter there with the return instead. Double for him, falling back in. He sees Freddy, who's finally shown up. There's a bit of a grenade. He does not have a kit currently picked up, but he's going to get shot down. Again, it's just... There are so many of these 1v1s and 2v2s, and Cr4zy are winning by far the majority of them.
Such a huge clutch factor coming in for so many of Cr4zy's roster right now. Hunter has been really consistent. We hadn't seen too much of like this clutch capability coming out for him. He was great right there. It's usually been on either Nexa or Esperanto that have done the crazier stuff. Either way, we're going to end up in a bit of a pause between the rounds here. I'm going to assume it's a tactical from Chaos. We'll get confirmation on that in just a second.
Right now, you could sort of maybe imagine, I think, what it must be like sort of in terms of team spirit on that team. Because that first map was pretty hard on them, and the second one, they get like that moment as like, yeah, we won the pistol, and then, you know, Steamroller is back. Cr4zy 6 rounds in a row after that.
The instant trade, and yeah, it's been unstopped since then. Chaos's money still going to be in a bad spot. They're going to try something a little crazy this time as they push up towards mid. Esperanto realizes what's happening, gets to it at 3. Number 3 still looking for him. He's got him in the back corner here. It's Boatin trying to push him. He does eventually get the kill on Esperanto, but Auto and Hunter are there moments later as DJL also was able to get Nexa, but doesn't end up mattering too much in the grand scheme of things. Again, as Freddy Frog is the last man left standing, really far detached from all of the action that's been happening on B and mid. So there's not going to be much that he'll be able to do.
Freddy, yeah, 1 versus 3. If you get a kill and make his way out with the rifle, that would be big news, but that's not going to happen. Instead, it will be another round for Cr4zy, 7-1. And moving into round number 9 here. Man, they are really struggling right now.
Very, very similar scoreline, if not the exact scoreline that we ended up on back in map number 1. But Chaos still was able to bring things back, or came very close to anyway on Dust 2 despite the disadvantage. The problem is these rounds are looking a lot more one-sided than we had back on Dust 2. Cr4zy still has a big advantage, and on quite a few players, they've got a pretty big money build-up as well, meaning that even if Chaos starts winning rounds here, it's going to take a solid 2-3 rounds to break through the bank that Cr4zy has established now. That whole time, they're still going to be building up their own losing bonus.
Pleasant with the right idea. Good shoulder peek from Hunter. Just making sure he didn't throw anything away. Now going to be creeping on all the way through. They could have some assistance at top mid. I think Esperanto's up there. Yeah, so they could sort of combine for that a little bit later mid take.
Away from that though. Boatin is going to find the first. The attempt at a trade from lower does not pan out at all. Good hold so far. Boatin even finds the push from Letney. Cr4zy going a little bit crazy here as they keep trying to force the issue in connector. Paying the price for it big time. Auto now the only one left in this position. Be able to take out one. Good trade. It's only the start, but they got a lot more work to do. He's got to find the second player, Connector. The player as well that's sitting back over on Cat is going to cause problems for him if he tries to put it into Connector. So Auto's going to fall back instead. Nex has actually gotten a lot of room for free, and Auto actually takes a bit of damage from the mid window as he tries to fall back from mid. Nex is going to get caught, so this one went from bad to worse for Cr4zy. As Auto in the 1v4 really just doesn't have any right to initiate onto the site now. He's going to try to swing around the corner. Again, doing good with what he's being given. So he takes down Freddy as well this time, but there's just no time left for that plant. He'll just sit back in Palace and wait for the time to expire.
Taking another rifle away, making sure that even as Chaos finally win their second round, it still cost them a little bit. But overall, good defense in the middle. That was not bad at all. Yeah, they got the first kill on Esperanto, and yeah, this is a nice shot. As soon as that happens, they've pretty much got it locked down.
So they keep trying to force it through the smoke inside of the Connector. Cost them a few more players throughout the midst of the round 2. But that's only the beginning here of the bank they need to now break. Full rebuys coming in for Cr4zy, and this should last them another round or 2 at minimum. Auto being very careful of that Connector now, as Hunter also stands watch against any type of cat push that we might see from Chaos. Now they've got a little bit more control. You've also got, I think it was Freddy that moved all the way into Palace. So he's actually got a good amount of intel right now. Auto, a great snipe though. Gets the better of the Connector players this time, finding Pleasant and opening that angle up for Cr4zy to push into.
Yeah, Nex are looking very aware of the possibility. Bomb going to be picked up now by Letney. Oh, that's all the way over at T-Spawn. If he's not careful though, if he's going to be running, it looks like they are thinking about it a lot. This is smart from Cr4zy. You kind of like to see this, even though they're winning so much. That's where some teams, especially sort of up-and-coming teams, start to make, you know, needless mistakes. It's like, yeah, we've got it, we're winning, and then they forget to check some of the basics. But this is it's pretty good to see.
We've got Bulletin. Once again, holding out. And he's going to have potential push coming out against him here relatively soon if he's not careful. Oh no, he's missed it completely. Esperanto, just an easy tap. I think he was sitting back waiting to see if any other CTs might have rotated in with him. Could have multi-fragged, but gives away his position there on picking up the kill. 3 remaining players on Chaos. They do have a potential pinch because of Freddy Frog's position inside of Palace, but it is not going to be used. You can see, of course, DJL and Relaxa wanted nothing to do with this retake. It's a good thing, too, as Freddy gets deleted inside of Palace there due to a quick push from Hunter. And that's got it confirmed. Cr4zy are going to go 8-2. Chaos only 1 round put up by them on their win streak.
Yeah, hard to even call it a win streak at that point, isn't it? It's really having a tough time. Saving 2 rifles is better than nothing, but their economy is still going to be so broken, which I feel like it's been one of the main struggles they've had all along. I feel like so many of these rounds, I don't know, I think Freddy's playing on that A extremity, and all of the action, like all of the time, seems to be really far away from him. Like he seems to always be showing up at the end of a round where it's like 1 versus 3 or 2 or something. And he was a big reason why they had any chance of on Dust 2. So that's another problem. Timeout about to run out here. Chaos, man, how do you make it back from this?
Yeah, still looking for a way to hit the ground running and battle back into this series. Already down 0-1, of course, after dropping control of Dust 2. So this is it. This is their last chance to come back into it. Like you mentioned before, this is actually Cr4zy's map pick, so Chaos even less of a chance to shut it out. Another good start for Cr4zy as they catch Pleasant trying to do a cat push. Wanted with a chance for a second, too, if he stays on that Connector position. Still quite a few members of Chaos trying to play around with it. Relaxa and Letney taking damage from peeking each other back by the apartments. Neither one necessarily winning that fight, though, as both Relaxa and Letney take pretty massive numbers of damage. Cr4zy's going to be pulled back from those back B halls, though, after putting a little bit of pressure on it before, mainly from Letney. And it looks like the large majority of them are going to regroup instead of going through mid, as they've been doing on pretty much every single round that their A attacks have gone towards. They are going to favor the majority of their players probably towards Cat. Or excuse me, probably towards T ramp with One player moving his way in through Palace.
If they don't shut down this main push, or at least delay it, Esperanto's going to use all the distraction and just probably get just one kill is enough right now. DJL up close, going to get it easy on the first one. A nice attempt, but it's not quite enough. And now, you know, Boden is in trouble. He needs to fall back, and Freddy looking away, and there's Esperanto. The timing is everything. Just great intuition on his part, and does not need to push any further here.
Watson, of course, knows the round is a bit futile, so tries his best to line up for one final kill, but is not going to happen. Cr4zy does it once again, nearly at double digits now over Chaos. Chaos got the money back into their favor here. They can do full rebuy that includes double ops on Pleasant and Relaxa, along with all the AUGs they would ever need. But again, we're just not seeing any reason why we should expect Chaos to be picking up these rounds. It's been very few and far between. Even at the beginning of the round, they've been able to get an advantage for themselves, although this one could be different. Pleasant making the jump up onto Cat, finds the lineup against Esperanto. And finally, Chaos will get an opening kill that, at least so far, will go unresponded to.
Yeah, this is where you'd want to see them fall into sort of more of a standard play. You got that 4 versus 5. Now, don't need any more risks. Just make sure you've got it on lockdown. Otto setting up for it. It's so quick again. Right back in a 4-on-4.
Cr4zy find their way back into the round. More than likely going to try to drop onto the B site. Oh, DJL missing a great scoping opportunity. Could have been bye-bye to Letney. Button does the job for him, though. Now DJL can come in from the opposite angle here. Cr4zy are getting trapped. They need to initiate now and force these guys out of position, but they're just not finding the capability to do that. Boten and DJL constantly picking up kills. It's a great crossfire between the two of them. Even though DJL's barely had to do anything, just his presence is enough to throw these guys off. He'll finally show up with a kill towards the end of it. There you go. A third round picked up by Chaos.
Yeah, looking a lot better on that crossfire in the B-bomb side, but then also, you know, maybe a little bit too much of a slowdown for Cr4zy. You know, maybe it's fine to stop for a second up in those B apartments, but you really don't want like 3 people standing on top of each other up there for a long time. That's kind of a recipe for a bit of a disaster. Double AWP still in the hands of Chaos. 9-3. Boden opening up with a big kill there on Esperanto. If they can make it 9-6, they're still in trouble, but it's doable.
Next is going to try to crawl out here. He does see one of the players from Chaos messing around at ticket booths. He's going to molly him out. Was relatively alone up until this point, but now he's got Otto peeking out from the Palace. The bomb has joined him as well. We're going to see Hunter with that bomb in hand start to push out. They got the kill there. That would have been the clear right to move in. But now they've given it away. They've revealed the fact that they're going to be pushing into this site, and they don't necessarily have the best amount of control. A minute left at least. They've got plenty of time to play with here. Hunter creeping right up to the connector stairs, finds Boten. Taking him out, and again, evening us down into a 4v4.
Still a smoke on Otto. They're going to need it to get that bomb plant. Letney goes down. And Otto thinking about it. Oh, he's going to get the bomb plant even without it. I would have said that would have been a bit risky. Nexa, want to be careful. There's an AWP over there. You might not want to take that fight with the AK-47. He's just waiting for it. Here's Hunter again. This time taking down Pleasant. They're moving on to the bomb side. Nexa in a great position. He's going to pick up the 1 kill. And the AUG now circling around. Relaxed at getting it. But Otto, the bomb is kind of planted for him. He could definitely do it. If you get... Oh, there's a smoke on top. That's so big. He had a Molotov as well. So if they didn't have the smoke, that could have done a lot of damage.
So certainly not a bad play at the end of the round, but ultimately a little bit too aggressive. Was hoping that they would have been already committed to the plant, not realizing he went for the rotate. Gave them a few extra seconds, I think, to check out towards T-ramp, and they realized that the positioning, he was not going to be there. He was not going to be peeking out against them and had to be rotating through mid. So a good read from Chaos. Good adjustments. Be able to bring them back into it. And we go 9-4.
Expecting that window smoke. It never shows up. Might be a fairly quick execute. I mean, they have had so much space on the A-bomb side. See several rounds where Nexus walked all the way up to Tetris with nobody even sort of fighting him. So if you get that, like, a couple of rounds, why not just try and take advantage of it?
Cr4zy taking their time with the lead up They want to make sure Letney's in position before they commit to anything here. Flash primed by Hunter. Letney as well getting a little bit of aggression thrown back at him. Pleasant not able to detect anything from up on top there. Probably won't until he pushes the connector. But this means that the overall CT presence on the A site is going to be quite light. Letney as well. I think someone just jumped on top of him. I didn't even realize it. Relaxa, though, finds Esperanto from further back as he moves in. Letney actually missed the opening shot. Of course, though, with the positioning advantage he has, quickly corrects it as the rest of Cr4zy are now trying to pinch in.
If you're Button, you're going to be so mad. You just shot through that smoke for that very reason. Shot right over his head. He was literally crouched in front of you. There's no way for him to know that. 35 seconds, and they're going to go for the bomb plant. Nobody there able to stop it either. Still a 4-on-4, though. Pleasant walking in. Oh, that's the timing for a double kill. That just might do it.
And now Relaxa pretty much seals the deal with the op shot. Letney stuck behind a smoke, already losing pretty much 2/3 of his HP. Trying to spam in, picking off at least a few of these players, but he can only get one. DJL goes down. And Chaos, same as Dust 2, come to life at the end of the second half here. Putting up quite a few rounds, bringing us up to 9-5 as we enter the final round of the half.
You still have to worry if I mean, I don't want to say it's too late, but it's getting really close for them still. If they lose the pistol in the second half, that's going to be a big problem. But yeah, you're right. They are coming alive. 9-5. It's definitely doable. Still money on the board here for Cr4zy, even in the, well, I guess lacking a little bit, but mostly doing all right.
Cr4zy going to be doing away with the slow lead up to their executes this time, just forcing the issue, and it seems like that's been a very big mistake. Hunter finding the only kill so far from Cr4zy. Besides that, it's been Chaos shutting it down. Otto, the only other player besides Hunter that's even left here for Cr4zy at this point. He's going to try to sneak forward, work his way over towards the stairs. Got one player pushing to the top side of it, but it gets Otto. Hunter quickly retrieves the ball, but it won't matter. DJL gets the final kill. And Chaos, they bring it back. 9-6 at halftime. Still putting up a fight after all here. We're going to find out once again if they can continue this, or if Cr4zy will still get the closeout right after the break, folks. Stick with us.
Tomorrow's pain, today's neglect. Don't wanna let it all prevent our hearts from moving on. When it's all gone, the times that we spent just a memory. It's been too long to try it all again. Can you see that the sky is falling? Right now as I'm walking out the door. Oh baby, now it's all or nothing. Oh, 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 oh. Gotta see it as it is now, darling. I want you, but I just can't stand the pain. Oh baby, now it's all or nothing. Oh, 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 oh. Thinking back on all the things you said, all the promises you made, it wasn't all in my head. Picking up the pieces of my heart, every time you break it all apart. I should have learned to let you go. When it's all gone, the times that we spent just a memory. It's been too long to try it all again. Can you see that the sky is falling? Right now as I'm walking out the door. Oh baby, now it's all or nothing. Oh, 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 oh. Gotta see it as
Here we go. Second half, second map between Cr4zy and Chaos. And once again, Chaos kind of sort of waking up almost a bit too late, it feels like. We don't want to say that it is yet. They could still change around, but they're going to have to win this pistol. And they're going to have to do a lot more than that. Otherwise, they're going to lose this match 2-0 and they'll be out of the tournament. Big stack towards B early on for the CT side.
Let's see if Chaos can get it done. They're going to be, like you said, splitting up a little bit more at the beginning of this round. Definitely have priority on taking control of mid, but more than likely, given the bomb position, a quick split into the connector and then on to the A site. 2 players already working their way up. Freddy as well, starting things off good for Chaos here, but Nexa has seen the push from ramp. More than likely hasn't caught the bomb just yet, but still, more kills coming in the way for Chaos here. The USP is just not really favoring Cr4zy all that well. Already 4 kills against them, let me alone, and there you go. Chaos off to a good start again in the second half as they take yet another pistol.
Don't understand how many of those shots missed. I mean, Esperanto looked like one of those shots he would have hit pretty easily, and then like it was followed up by another couple of weird misses, so that's still great, and they did pick up the P250s there on the T side, so nicely done for Chaos. 9-7, and now they have a big chance here. They could definitely try to start to bring it back, and they need to right now. They need to get it on that third map.
Relaxa is going to be leading the charge for Chaos now as they wrap around on a cat. Easy control gain for them here. Mainly due to the non-existent buy, although Hunter up on top, those heads are a little bit easier to shoot. Picks up one, dinks another. So Bolton's going to be down at 3 HP. So double kill. Esperanto as well, some great damage, only those single shot connects. And same to be said for quite a few players on Cr4zy here. In fact, getting very close. It's not enough to solidify the kills. And obviously that's going to pretty much destroy Nexa's chances of winning this one. Out is Chaos with 4 players barely alive. Take control. Only 1 away from tying it up now.
Yeah, they were in a very similar position on the first map on Dust 2, and then right when it sort of mattered the most, they couldn't really follow it through. It's absolutely possible that they can this time. No AWP picked up on the CT side. I think that's going to make a big difference. Otto seems to be pretty good with it, so he's going to have to wait a little bit before he can put that to use.
Quick smokes again deployed by Chaos as they take mid control. Hunter trying to challenge it, but he doesn't want to over push. Already lost a life through that method back on the previous round. First time they've got guns as well, so they don't necessarily want to give those up so easily in the early round. Along with the utility they still have. Need to try and leverage that. Keep it alive for as long as possible. So we're still seeing Chaos mess around with mid. That's the priority for them right now. One other player playing into the back halls, but not a whole lot of lead up into a site just yet for Chaos. It's looking like it's going to head towards B, though.
Yeah, and those 2 A players are really far away. Like, almost as far away as you possibly can be, so it's going to be a lot of it down to this B hole. The problem is, when there are 3 people coming in like from catwalk like that, that's almost impossible. DGL does get spotted. Again, it's up to the B defense, and they're just getting absolutely overrun. Hunter back here does catch one. He needs to stay alive for another 10 seconds, and I don't see how he can. He's going to get shut down. DJL doing a fine job in the middle. Yeah, that... I don't know how you can defend that when there are 3 people running onto the site. Like, they don't even get spotted, you know, at the distance. They're just on the site.
Not going to be able to. So it's down to Esperanto. Not really much he can do, unfortunately. I realize it or not, he's also been pinched. As DGL has a position to catch up if he tries to fall back into the A site. So this is a no-win scenario, unfortunately, for him. He's going to try his best to find the impact that he can get. He knows they're going to be moving out in his direction to try and hunt it down. So at least 1 kill picked up. Nearly manages to leverage it into a second one against Freddy. But Freddy ends up with 3 kills on the round. Chaos close out. And now they will tie it up at 9-9. With the guys from Cr4zy so far failing to fire here on their CT side. And will more than likely stay that way for this upcoming round as they have to save again. Only armor bots behind these pistols. Chaos will have the penultimate advantage when it comes to taking any fights against Cr4zy here.
Yeah, 9-9. Be a real resurrection for Chaos if they could actually turn this around and end up winning the map. Oh, funky Molotov. I think it actually... Did it go up in the air? Yeah, I think it did. Doesn't really matter. They're still going to be doing just fine. Esperanto sneaking in a kill on Relaxer, but ultimately still going to be a bomb plant here. And should have no problem holding on to the after plant.
So So 3 from Cr4zy. Not really, again, with any position that they could do anything. They're just on pistols after all. It's more a question of whether they want to actually attempt to get exit kills or just fall back and stop them from getting the money. With just pistols and none of their opponents having SMGs, they might as well try to pick up a few frags on this one. But even that is going to prove very difficult to accomplish. So work their way back up. Hunter, he's got a line up through Ticket, but can't make his mark. It's too low to continue fighting for it, so he's going to fall back. The rest of Cr4zy, they know they're going to try to take fights with them, so they'll fall back into CT spawn instead and survive here. As Cr4zy, for I think the first time in this series, it's going to take a lead at 10-9. Unless you count the pistol round where they pushed ahead at the beginning of this map.
Yeah, things are really turning around for them now. Probably too soon to start really celebrating, but at least it's moving in the right direction. You have to wonder now if they can survive what has to be an eventual AWP pickup. Yeah, there's Auto picking it up. That's a big question.
He's going to hopefully have a little bit more comfortability playing to now he's on CT side too, and he does, but the problem is it's incredibly short-lived. Freddy is there in mid to counter out Auto's own aggression for the connector. Very quickly brings us from a 5v5 to a 4v4. So wait to see what the rest of Cr4zy want to do with this. Did have the ability to go out quickly towards the A site, but it seems as though with the action that happened towards connector, they're going to shy away from that.
See if Pleasant is going to be hanging around in those A hallways. If he does, he could make a bit of noise and actually still 2, maybe even a 3rd could be stuck on the A bomb site. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the plan. So you look for Pleasant probably to throw that one flashbang and just try and do something to keep people on this side. But Hunter and Letney, they're both here. That's a pretty good setup. Oh, they're changing their minds, aren't they?
They're going back towards mid and into A. You still have Pleasant in position by Palace, along with a top mid hold from Freddy, who hasn't really seen anything towards a window or whatnot, so he might be thinking that the rotate had already gone off. It's not the case. Still 2-2 split on either side. 25 seconds left. All of the pressure, for the most part, is going to be working its way in from the connector, too. So if they can shut this down, it's going to be a nice hold. Esperanto just needs to focus on Palace to make sure he stops that. Otherwise, Pleasant is going to cut things off. And oh, the movement from Pleasant throws off Nexa. Thought he was going to try to wide swing on the jump. So Pleasant gets the second on top of that. Now the man advantage goes over to Cr4zy. Cr4zy have to rotate everyone in from B. So long ways away. A good molly goes down there too. Someone threw that well in the back of the site. Did massive damage to them. And now Hunter, left alone, starts things off in the 1v3 well, but just really doesn't have time to play this out. He currently doesn't have a kit. I don't know if there's one. Picks one up right there. So we got the extra time, but cut off by Relaxa. Still puts the round under Cr4zy's control.
It looks to me like Letney voluntarily just ran into that Molotov for a long time. I mean, he got flashed at the end, but I'm still really confused about what happened there. Yeah, that's, from Nexus' point of view, that probably should be a kill.
So threw him off a little bit. It's going to be Cr4zy pushing ahead. 11-9. Just a few more rounds now between them and map number 2. Which will take us over towards Vertigo to decide the series. For Cr4zy, they're still looking for the rebound. They have same problem as back on Dust 2, yet to pick up a round on this second half. While they were still eventually able to close it out on Dust 2, they never actually lost the lead. So this is a newer situation for Cr4zy. They gotta look for a way to rebound on this relatively quickly. Letney, some good damage onto a few players here from Cr4zy, but ultimately they're still ready to push out at a moment's notice. DJL actually almost getting caught as well here.
Fighting away, finally the headshot, and again, Cr4zy. You really don't want to be stuck up in these hallways. It is just not worth it. Now they've caught a little bit of backup, and DJL, that's a nice... Oh, actually, he almost could have got Letney if he'd been peeking behind there. That would have been a perfect lineup. Good load of backup coming in. Esperanto, though, hitting a couple of shots, and he could have had a third there. Next guess what? Oh, he almost taps away. 1 health left on Pleasant. That is way too close.
A single bullet would have meant the difference in the round there. Great stuff from Nexa regardless, but again, too much control being exercised here by Cr4zy. As soon as they run into any little small little bump in the road here. Chaos have done a really good job of slowing the takedown and making sure that they correct that, either establish a flank or hyper-focus on dealing with the player that's causing them issues before they continue to proceed, and that's making the difference for them right now, and leaving so much consistency on the floor, and then to pick up so many rounds in a row.
The match is turning out very strange at the moment. It seems to be just on both maps. That second half really not playing well for Cr4zy. Double orb now, maybe that's going to be the key.
Either way, they're going to get a little bit more aggressive this time. Hunter moving in, he gets flashed out. Auto finds some success though, and Hunter also picking one up on the scope and on the AUG, finding DJL. Massive change in the narrative, like out of absolutely nowhere here, just due to the aggression that we see. Relaxa gonna try to put this back under the control of Chaos, but it might be too far gone. Oh no! You hate to see that as Relaxa.
Crowd is obviously loving it.
Yeah. Relaxa gonna self-immolate there. End the round for his own team.
Oh no, we even get it.
We even get the POV.
Production crew has absolutely no mercy at all. Not how you want to go. Auto could have maybe got caught then. That looked scary for a minute. Man. 10 to 12. Finally around for Cr4zy here at the second half.
Will it last, though? That's going to be the big question here. Does Chaos still come right back into it with another buy? Might even have enough money to stretch it into the next round, too, depending on where their bonus is at that point. We'll see how crazy they are when that presents itself. Letney stinks for his troubles. Doesn't actually do a whole lot of damage, considering it was a dink on him. Only knocks out about 20 HP. But still, picks up the kill on DJL. And that is Cr4zy, bringing it down into a 5v4 again early on.
Yeah, really great when you're playing solo B to have that much of a forward position. You just get so early warning in case any kind of a push is happening. We can tell the bomb's on the A side, and I don't know, with most of these smokes they're going to be throwing are going to be landing essentially behind Nexer and Hunter. So they need to not just throw the smokes, they need to win both these fights and quickly before, you know, more backup shows up. That's kind of a hard task right now.
Chain Molly's going down for Cr4zy. The entrance Relaxa with his own. Ready to throw it back over at towards the steps here. Next, though, with an aggressive push, shuts down any attempt to push back out. This is where the bomb is going to come from in just a second, too. Potent being caught by Nexa, just running a train on these guys. No chance at all as Esperanto cuts out the last member of the team. That's another one up onto the board for Cr4zy as they're shifting back into control, seemingly in just as quick of a fashion as they pushed ahead in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many things that were working out well. The timing on that second Molotov, the flashbang to follow up, it was just all dead on perfect. 12 to 10 now. And moving into round number 24 here. Back to pistols on the Chaos side. So, man, they're getting close to that third map, but now that they have money issues, it's a further problem, isn't it?
It's going to become a big issue, especially if we see Cr4zy remain consistent from this point forward here. Auto going to line up an opening shot against a member of Chaos. But all that happens is Chaos get confirmation that the op is still in that position. Boost up, plus it on top as they try to find a cat player. It's not going to reveal itself so easily, though. Cr4zy continue to play in a pretty passive fashion to the beginning of this round. Not going to try to take any risks at mid or deeper onto the site. Means the Chaos have to make the first move here.
They don't have anything to set this up with, so I think if they can win the first fight, maybe the fact that they've got the Relaxer in the window could be an opening, but yeah, like that's a lot of maybes to make this work. They need to break through, yeah, the first part of this defense. Maybe then have Relaxer either sneak out with a kill or just catch rotation. 30 seconds.
To work their way out, Auto catching the first, missing the second, but Esperanto gets a quick triple. And Relaxa Well, a little bit too late to the party, unfortunately, to find any real impact. So, Cr4zy pick up yet another round and tie it up, bringing us to a 12-12 scoreline.
That's also a round again where they have a lot of money to work with. The bank is starting to build up almost 10,000 on Esperanza. There's also 23 and 15, so living up to some of the hype right now. Money all spent in this round for Chaos, and they're going to go really quick towards the B-bomb side. Letney, he's alone with the AWP in there, and they're going to be coming for him. He misses the chance. He's going to have maybe 1 or 2 more shots. Gets one up close. Doesn't get the follow-up flick, and that's a problem.
Actually, a big problem here, too. It's going to give a lot of control over to Chaos, potentially put them ahead. Hunter with an ace nade, though, destroys DJL. He's going to keep it going, too. Rolls right out from the kitchen to find Pleasant. There's 2 players left from Chaos. One, Relaxa, again picked off by Hunter. This can't be stopped. Finally, though, so I seem to have cursed it a bit. Freddy is going to chain together 2 now, but 2 still left alive. He's going to have to jump down, stop the diffuser, and it won't work out. Esperanto shuts out the last man alive. Freddy goes down, and it's yet another round for Cr4zy as they take the lead at 13-12.
Wow. I really can't believe Hunter did all that. The grenade in the beginning was great. Like, this one is, that's pretty good. The fact that he got 2 follow-up kills is way too much. Really well done. He was low on health in that last one, too.
Chaos trying to figure out what to do here. Much like Dust 2, they've just immediately fallen flat after what seemed like it was going to be a great rebound. And now they're stuck, trying to figure out what the next step is to bring this T side back under their control. It's much like Dust 2 as well. The struggle is showing up on their T side.
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, they got the bomb plant down here, and that's good news. If they hadn't, they would have had to spare a bunch of grenades. And again, in this round, they at the very least need a bomb plant so they can keep the economy somewhat reasonable. Expecting maybe a push to top mid, which isn't really coming. That double ult, though, when you only have 2 smokes on the T side, you know, that's going to be tricky to try and put them all the way out of the round. They're probably going to be able to find an opening somewhere.
Chaos, of course, moving in. Take quick mid control. Cr4zy in the meanwhile. Still with a pretty even split. They've been given basically 0 intel, so there's not really much reason to play into anything yet on the CT side of this. Chaos again go hunting, fishing, you could say, for a kill here. So they try to spam in onto the stair position, but they're not going to find much from it. Time continuing to tick down here in the meanwhile. It's Chaos smoke out the connector. It's Esperanto finding the first pickup from inside of the sniping window. Freddy, however, trades it back a moment later. Relaxa looking for players that might have tried to go for revenge, but he's not going to get it. Letney goes 1 for 1 with Pleasant. Pleasant also falls. It's actually just incredibly back and forth. Neither team really getting much of an advantage to play off of. This could be the big difference maker, though. Hunter already deep into the site. Tries to jump out, loses a lot of HP from that nade. Great management by Chaos. Now next to moving in, tapping away by the bench. Will chuck the Molly out. He's going to take a little bit of chip damage in the meanwhile. The Molly is going to force Relaxa into the open, but it also puts him in a position to kill Nexa after he finds Botan. So Chaos piece it back together. They find another round.
It's unbelievably close, that round. With the bomb plant down to a 1-on-1, that does cost a lot for the T side. So even if they get the bomb plant down, that could still come back to haunt them a little bit here. And obviously they win the round, but the money's still there for Cr4zy and Chaos. You could see they've got really only money, well, not even. Boden is on 1,500, and that's it. So if they lose now, that could almost be series point. It's going to be tricky.
Chaos. Again, the pressure is going to shift towards mid after the initial move out from them. They've got Botan with position inside of Palace too, so likely going to lead themselves into an A hit. There's no reason why they couldn't change that up though. Esperanto, Pleasant as well, right next to him. Neither player realizes it just yet. Pleasant,
oh no.
Is he on top of him? Oh no, Esperanto didn't see it. I know, he realized that he moves in, catches Pleasant, and meanwhile, it's been an absolute shutdown from Cr4zy. Relaxa just got the first kill for Chaos. He's just not in a position to really do anything else here. Esperanto waits right around the corner. He's going to take him out, but immediately Hunter with the repeat continues to find the impact for Cr4zy as they take back their lead one more time.
Oh, that's so hard to watch, isn't it, inside of the smoke? You don't know who's going to have the advantage, but coming out of it like that, that was kind of a landslide. And again, no bomb plant. Look at what they have here, 14-13. Yeah, probably really quick towards B, setting up the early grenades. Is it going to be enough to make it happen?
Flash is going over the top. Chaos going to waste no time with the setup this time. A lot of nade damage as they work their way back in. Trade still favoring Cr4zy at this point, too. Not out of it just yet, though. The wrap up on Letney, it's going to go very bad very quickly, it seems. Relaxa again, the last man standing here. The 1v4 situation. Stuck behind a smoke, although that'll be fading right about now. Immediately finds the lock on Esperanto to take him down. 3 more to go. The third player just rotating, and it's not going to happen. Letney shuts it out. Cr4zy on map and series point.
Yeah, those B rushes, you really never know, but nice enough hold, especially close with the AWP like that. And I think the grenades also slowed them down a tiny bit, so man, they're so close, Chaos. It feels like they could have done it. Maybe even feel like they could have done like some sort of comeback on the first map. But their beginnings in each map have just been not good enough. Hunter gonna get caught, really trying to flex on them a little bit at the end here. Esperanto in the middle. Oh, he's gonna get stolen by Otto. Looking for more, fighting in the middle as Esperanto gonna get a kill, and he's looking for a bit more. He does get caught falling back. And now they're gonna try and see if they can reach into the B bomb side. There's Letney, been pretty good with the AWP. He's gonna get the 1 kill. Bomb is out there, so Letney probably calling for a little bit of backup.
Obviously, Nexa pretty far away, so Letney needs to make sure he stays alive. He's gonna get pinched on from the apartments too. He's found the first kill, wraps it around, tries to no-scope it. Just off the mark though. Pleasant gets the better of it. We go into a 1v1. Pleasant with the check. Doesn't find Nexa by connector, so he has to know he's rotated into kitchen. There's no way he would have went underpass. He's gonna lock onto him, knows exactly where to expect him from, but does he expect him to be this far out? The fake plant attempt still completely misreads, and that's gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. Cr4zy take control of the series, 2-0 over 2 pretty intense maps at the end of the day. Although ultimately one-sided for the folks from Cr4zy, as they still take control of the large majority of those close rounds and push ahead to take both Dust2 and Mirage, pushing them forward into the next matchup.
Yes, indeed. One of the more difficult losses I think we've seen so far in the tournament. It really felt like there were just a lot of opportunities, I think, for Chaos to do more. But ultimately, I mean, so many 1v1s, 2v2s that went the way of Cr4zy, and like, you know, you can only give away so many of them. And I think that ultimately was really what did it for Chaos.
Especially on Dust2, I think Mirage was ultimately like a lot closer, you know, pound for pound between the two teams. Dust2 still had, you know, really close moments between those guys. There was opportunities for Chaos to work their way back into it too. At one point, they were only like a round away from tying it up, and there was a real possibility we saw them push ahead there. Just couldn't make it happen though. And even when they took the lead here on Mirage, still ended up falling short a few rounds later. Yeah, Cr4zy took it back again. So good start for Chaos, just not enough to take on Cr4zy. So they as well are going to be heading home.
Yes, indeed they will. That means Cr4zy are going to be playing up against Ancient. So we still have a Swedish team in the tournament. And we've got the analysts ready as well. So Cr4zy living up, I think, to their reputation a little bit here, 2-0ing the opponents. Oh, we've got a shirt now. We've got merch on the desk.
Not exactly the person you want to model your apparel, but I'm going to do it anyway. Great game coming out from Cr4zy. Exactly what we expected. I am currently batting 1,000, but your 750, your 500 is not that bad.
I'm pretty sure we're all like even overall or something like that. It's confusing at this point.
Yeah, we actually stopped keeping track.
Yeah.
They did, I didn't. But we stopped keeping track. Just
that's all that's on the tablet.
Yeah,
you just got a little
tally. I actually don't have any notes. I'm just like, I got it right. I got it wrong. To be fair, when I got it wrong, I still feel like I kind of got it right.
No. Like, no, not even close.
Here's some highlights from the game as well. I mean, we definitely saw a lot from Chaos. Like, this play specifically was kind of nuts from Freddy Frog, that like jumping one tap sort of through the wall. It was kind of funky. Like when even it hits the shot, you didn't even know what was going on. We saw a lot of that from Chaos, but it wasn't enough to get them over the hurdle of beating Cr4zy.
He was the main reason it was close. Like, I think he finished like something like 29 and 18 or something ridiculous in that first map, and if it wasn't for him, then it would have been fairly dominant. Like, I think in both maps, in fact, we saw a really good start. I think it was like 8-1 or something in the second map as well. And then it was like 10 rounds in a row or something insane for the Swedes, because I want to give them credit. I think that they actually stepped up and started performing. But I also feel like there's a moment in almost every single match where you just watch the guys on the other side of Cr4zy just go, well, I think we got this now, so let's just sort of like relax a little bit. And it really does just, it's a notable drop off, and then they go, okay, we got to start playing again now that it's level.
So did they relax a little bit?
I think you were spot on there, Tom, about the fact that it was so back and forth, right? And Chaos definitely did impress, but I think the storyline of Dust 2 specifically is the power of the AUG. It really turns the tides on that map. I mean, we remember even just 6 months ago, Dust 2 was a little bit more T-sided, maybe 50-50, 60-40-ish, but it seems like specifically now with the power of the AUG and the economy changes, it's really very heavily a CT-sided map. I mean, there's a lot of duels that the CT players are willing to take now, those long to mid-distance duels that you really didn't see before. And so it really bodes well for teams that are willing to take those duels and come out on top.
Yeah, we've seen it in Train as well. I think that's the biggest map it's affected, is like the CT side of that map is now the most CT sided in the game. Like, it's actually been overtaking Nuke, which is ridiculous. I think whenever anybody saw Nuke in the pool, it's like, okay, that's going to be the most CT sided map. Anything else we can just look at a second. But Train has actually become that just because of one weapon, which is kind of ridiculous, but it's made the game interesting again. Like, I think things get stale, and then when you change a gun to make it better, it's been pretty good.
I mean, you can say the same about some other maps like Mirage as well. We do have Nexa backstage ready for an interview. Congratulations on the win. They made that a little bit difficult for you guys there in that first map, and even in the second one as well.
Yeah, it was a really tough game, and thank you.
Now, you guys have played against them before. They compete in the Mountain Dew League, and you really haven't struggled against them in online appearances. Do you feel like they brought their A game for this LAN?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would just say that we're playing really poorly right now. Our communication is bad, and some of our players are sick and just feeling bad overall. You know, we had a pretty exhausting boot camp and just like 20 days of non-stop CS before we came to this event, and I think it's just starting to hit us a bit. Our communication is just all the way down. We don't have a lot of energy, and I think this is why the games are closer than they should be.
Do you think your team is becoming a bit of a like comeback king? Because it seems to be the first map in like best of one series, you like lose it in terms of like the beginning of say DreamHacks, like in Rio as well, and then it's always like, okay, we need to like wake up a little bit and we need to play our game, because it seems like a lot of the time you're losing to teams that are worse than you overall.
Yeah, I think it just takes this one loss to just make everyone realize that you can't underestimate any opponent. You just have to go full power, full strength into whoever is on the opposing side on the server, you know. And this is what we have, like, some issues realizing. We just don't give a lot of attention to the weaker opponents, and that's why they punished us.
Now, speaking about the grind, you mentioned being in a boot camp coming into this, and you guys are playing in all these qualifiers. The rise to the top is definitely not an easy road at all. It means playing a lot more. It means working a lot harder. How do you feel you guys are adjusting to the new schedule that you've become accustomed to?
I think it's super hard. I think we had to make this adjustment because before we didn't really practice. I mean, we practiced, but we didn't practice like 6 or 7 maps a day like some teams do. And I think after DreamHack tours, when we just couldn't keep up with Mousesports in the finals because we were just super exhausted after the G2 semifinal, you know, we just realized, well, we don't have that much stamina that we can play like 2 or 3 best of 3s in one day, you know, so we just got to step it up. We got to play more maps, and we got to just get everyone used to playing at least 2 best of 3s a day, you know.
So finally, we've met your CEO. He seems a little bit crazy. Who is the craziest person on your team, just like in and out of the server?
It's him.
It's him.
It's our CEO, definitely. There's no one more crazier.
Well, I think sometimes it's good to have a little crazy. Thank you so much for the interview, and congratulations again.
Me. Thank you.
I mean, a little bit of crazy, it's a good thing to have that. It's passion. Some see it crazy, some see passion. I see a little bit of both.
They were the loudest people screaming in the whole place, and bear in mind, we are in Sweden. So that to be the case, I
mean, it's not quite like cheering for or against the home team in like Rio, for instance. Like, if you were the one Avant-Garde fan in Rio when they were screaming for Furia, that would have been like, I'm going to go to the bathroom and watch on my phone. Is there good Wi-Fi here, please? I hope so. So, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of crazy, but I really just see his passion. In our conversation with him, very passionate about his project and what's going on with the team.
I like it a lot.
Now, Potter, I'm told you have a Stats Helix, a drawing board ready to go.
Yeah, I've got a drawing board here. This is pretty early on in the half, but prior to the start of this round, we will have seen Cr4zy either take mid control or bluff the mid control. And in this particular round, we're going to be seeing Cr4zy bluff that mid control. You'll see here Nexa and Letney, they're going to be throwing 2 smokes, one for middle and one for top mid. Then you see them once again throwing flashbangs, and I'm going to pause it here. If you look at Esperanto, his main objective and priority in this instance is spacing. He's going to try to get as close to this connector smoke as he can, and at this point, Pleasant, Baton, and Relaxa have no idea of Esperanto's position, and at this point, he actually gets a look. He gets 2 looks, one player in connector and one player here at Cat. And even though he's not successful at this point, he actually ends up dying to Baton. It doesn't matter. If we look here in the upper B tunnels, you're going to see all 4 of the members of Cr4zy. They're going for a contact play, and because there's so much of a diversion here in middle, you'll see all the Chaos players are focused towards that mid. It gives an opening, and although Cr4zy are at such a disadvantage, they're down a man here. It gives, though, spacing for Hunter and Otto to create opportunities for themselves. And if we take a look at the highlight, we're going to see Otto and Hunter and see exactly the kind of frags that they're able to get. Their main objective, again, it's a numbers game. They understand that the probability of more defenders in this site are slim to none, so they start spacing. They start going into those forward positions, and it really gives them an edge and an advantage within this round. And even though they're down a man, they still turn things around, and they put the points on the board.
I mean, it
and
really
look
was.
At Hunter here, he's such a capable player. When you have players such as Hunter that's able to close out rounds like that, even in sticky situations, you want to be able to put those players in those post-plant positions so that they can actually clutch those rounds out.
That's one of those things about this team, too, is they have that flexibility to rely on individual players, and just one person can really make a difference. And speaking of one person that can really make a difference, Tom, I've got some bad news for you.
Yeah, I saw it.
We've decided to remove you from the desk and replace you, but don't worry, we have something for you. This is an authentic Bach-worn broadcast t-shirt. I wore it earlier today. You can take that with you. It's disrespectful, but okay. Everybody, Pansy has now joined us on the desk.
Hey, I feel very short.
Counter-Strike has missed you a little bit. It's been
I miss Counter-Strike.
It's been mostly PUBG for you.
Yeah, I'm a dirty sellout. It's good fun out there, though. You know what I mean? Money's great.
Now, we do have an exciting announcement regarding DreamHack and the future. One of the things that's always been the case with DreamHack is everything has always been a little bit separate. You have the Masters, you have the DreamHack Opens. Yeah. It's time to sort of stitch everything together, including that new DreamHack Showdown. And we have a wonderful graphic that'll illustrate exactly what I'm talking about. So, on the left-hand side, you can see the winner of DreamHack Open Summer will be directly invited to DreamHack Masters Malmö, which is actually huge because the players that are here at this event right now did not know that until right now.
That's actually, that's amazing. I mean, this is so amazing. You're getting to auto-qualify. It's a second opportunity for you and your squad to qualify for a $250,000 tournament. That's... Sign me up.
I was about to say, I mean, if you rolled back the years, you could be looking at maybe going to Rotterdam. I mean, you sold out and joined the desk, but the event going down in Valencia, the Showdown, all-female event, same sort of deal. They get the direct invite, whoever wins it, over to Open in Rotterdam, which for me, I think this is just kind of DreamHack delivering on what everyone feels DreamHack is. It's that from grassroots to the Opens to the Masters, you know, you get that real run through.
A stepping stone, yeah.
Exactly, and it's literally doing that. So for me, this is an incredible opportunity. And we've seen so many good teams come through these sort of events, and now you get to see how far they can really go.
Yeah, DreamHack has always been a ladder to the top. Like,
absolutely.
You might be starting on the lower end rungs with the Showdown, where it's, you know, an event that's just starting out, and we're kind of seeing what the female scene is capable of when given the opportunities that they get. But we've watched teams start at DreamHack Opens and become some of the biggest teams in the world. Like, look at ENCE. ENCE was once a DreamHack Open winner.
That was the big point.
Vitality.
So many names.
So many good teams.
And I mean, purely just as a biased caster, right? Just from my like complete and utter want of good storylines, how incredible is this now? Like you said, there you go, okay, well, they came through from the Open. They're picking up some events. They finally won one. It does seem as though they'll normally hit around second a couple of times, top 3 here and there, and they eventually break in. Now teams can actually step their way forward, and you can see that history in the making. And I love that in CS. It is a storyline. It's that storybook of a team's progression and their growth, and now you get to see it from the very start for the aspiring gamers who come into DreamHack just to watch.
Yeah.
They can go, okay, well, maybe we can get a team together, maybe we can start pushing it open, maybe we can get somewhere, and then eventually you can see that there is literally a ladder and a stepping stone in front of you.
Like, we even call it a stepping stone. It could even be a launch pad. You can have a team like Chaos who comes in, and Chaos is like kind of not a kicker, a team in MDL. They're right at the bottom of the playoffs. They barely qualified, making it in as the 8th seed. They could come to an event like this through an open qualifier, then into the closed qualifier, then qualify for the event. If they somehow pick up a win, all of a sudden they're playing at a Masters. The amount of opportunity that gives a team, like all of a sudden orgs are looking their way and salaries are being offered. All of a sudden this is like, I'm now a real pro player. It's not just aspiring anymore. I've actually made it. Even if they don't win, like just the fact that they made it there.
Yeah, it's DreamHack open circuits kind of give people that start, right? It gives you the orgs the idea of, okay, well, I can support this team, they can consistently deliver, but as you said, this then builds that development, it supports it, it gives teams that next step forward to know, well, can we actually fight against the bigger teams yet? Where are we in that bigger scale? We have external ranking systems, sure, that you can get a good idea from, but this is, tactile feedback. This is teams working out how far they can actually get here now.
Well, we do appreciate you coming and joining us on the desk.
I'll leave it for Budget Moses to come back.
Yeah, Budget Moses. I mean, Counter-Strike definitely needs less bald, bearded people, and I say that as one myself.
I've been working on my beard, man. It's
just tie your hair under your chin.
You're right. That's not
Perfect.
going well. It's not going well.
A little bit of glue and we can make that happen. We are going to throw things to a break, but when we come back, it'll be Avantgarde versus Tricked as we continue on with day 2 of the DreamHack Open Summer here in Jönköping, Sweden. Stay tuned.